everything is about to change. The hunt for Teonna reaches a terrifying climax. Spencer edges closer to a war that may be impossible to stop, and shocking secrets threaten to unravel everything we thought we knew. But the biggest question looming over episode 6 is Teonna pregnant? With new leaks, intense confrontations, and life-or-death stakes, this episode could be the most explosive yet. Buckle up because what happens next will shake the very foundations of 1923. A storm is coming. The leaked trailer for 1923 Season 2 Episode 6 is packed with tension, and it wastes no time throwing us into the fire. The opening shot? A vast, empty Montana landscape, eerily quiet. Then gunfire, chaos. The Duttons are at war, and it's clear that no one is safe. But while the battle lines are being drawn in Montana, the real danger might be unfolding far from the ranch. The trailer shifts to Teonna riding hard across the plains with her father and Pete. She looks exhausted, her eyes filled with a quiet desperation. A voiceover, Father Renault's menacing growl, echoes over the scene. "You can't run from what's already written." It's a chilling line, one that suggests Teonna's past is closing in faster than she can escape it. And then the biggest moment of the trailer, a brief fleeting shot of Teonna, her hand pressed against her stomach. It's subtle, almost easy to miss. But if you've been paying attention, you know exactly what this could mean. The theory that's been circling for weeks might actually be true. Teonna Rainwater could be pregnant. But if that's the case, what does it mean for her future? There's no time to dwell because the trailer moves fast. Pete is seen galloping away from a rising dust cloud. Someone is chasing him. The next shot is even more brutal. His horse rears. Pete is thrown, and just like that, the screen goes black. A single gunshot rings out, then another. Silence. Who pulled the trigger first? And more importantly, who survived? Back in Montana, tensions are hitting a boiling point at the Dutton Ranch. Jacob Dutton stands firm as Sheriff McDowell warns, "This war will bury all of you." But Jacob's response is just as fierce. It's already begun. It's clear that whatever is coming in episode 6, it won't be pretty. And then the trailer closes with a final haunting shot. Spencer Dutton staring out a train window. His face is unreadable, his hands clenched into fists. Then just before the screen fades to black, a single voice whispers, "You should have stayed gone." What does this mean for Spencer? Will he make it back to Montana, or is a new threat waiting for him? And is the biggest twist yet to come? The leaked trailer leaves us with more questions than answers. But one thing is certain. Episode 6 is going to change everything. If the leaked trailer's biggest reveal is what we think it is, then 1923 is about to take Teonna Rainwater's story in a heartbreaking and unexpected direction. For weeks, fans have speculated about whether Teonna could be pregnant, and now we finally have a clue that suggests this theory may be true. But if she is carrying Pete's child, what does this mean for her survival? And more importantly, how will it impact the Rainwater legacy? Looking back, there have been subtle hints planted throughout the season that foreshadow this twist. Teonna and Pete's love story unfolded quickly, but it was intense. A rare moment of hope in an otherwise brutal journey. Their connection felt different from the other fleeting relationships in 1923, and that alone made it stand out. But what really stands out are the words Teonna's father spoke in episode 5. "We are the last ones fighting." At the time, it seemed like he was speaking about their immediate survival, but what if he was hinting at something even bigger? A child would mean that Teonna and Pete's legacy continues no matter how much the world tries to erase them. And then there's the way the trailer frames Teonna's journey. The leaked footage shows her looking exhausted, clutching her stomach for a brief moment before riding forward. It's a small detail, but in a show like 1923, nothing is accidental. If Teonna is pregnant, this changes everything. Not just for her, but for the entire Rainwater bloodline. In Yellowstone, Thomas Rainwater is one of the most powerful native leaders, and many fans believe he is connected to Teonna in some way. If she's carrying a child, that child could be an ancestor of Rainwater, making this pregnancy one of the most crucial storylines in the 1923 universe. But there's one massive problem. Teonna is still being hunted. Father Renault and Marshall Kent are closing in, and the leaked trailer suggests that they're closer than ever. One of the most intense shots from the footage shows Kent standing over a dead body, blood staining the ground beneath his boots. The identity of the victim is unclear, but given the timing of Pete's chase scene in the trailer, It's hard not to assume the worst. If Pete dies, Teonna will be left even more vulnerable, forced to navigate this unforgiving world completely alone. And if she's truly pregnant, that means she'll be fighting for 2 lives instead of just 1. This raises the stakes in a terrifying way. Teonna has already survived more than most characters in 1923, but pregnancy changes the game. Traveling on horseback while pregnant? Nearly impossible. Running from trained killers while pregnant? Even worse. If the show really is mirroring Elsa's journey from 1883, then we know what this means. Teonna is facing an unbearable amount of tragedy. Elsa lost the love of her life on the road, and her story ended in death. Could Teonna be heading for the same fate? Then again, there's one key difference between Elsa and Teonna. Elsa was part of a larger story, a piece of the Dutton family's past. Tiana's journey, on the other hand, feels much more central to 1923. The Rainwaters are vital to the Yellowstone storyline, which means Tiana's survival might be crucial to connecting past and present. If she is indeed pregnant, the showrunners wouldn't introduce this plotline without a purpose. That being said, survival won't be easy. Teonna has already had to disguise herself as a boy, fend off violent men, and evade those who want to destroy her. If Pete is dead, she'll have to do it all over again, only this time while carrying a child. Will her father be able to protect her? Will she make it to safety before Renaud and Kent catch up? Or will her story take an even darker turn in episode 6? One thing is certain, 1923 is not afraid to push its characters to the brink. If Teonna is truly pregnant, then the road ahead will be more dangerous than ever. The leaked trailer leaves us with an agonizing cliffhanger. Teonna looking up at something off-screen, eyes wide with horror. What is she seeing? Could it be the return of someone from her past? Or is this the moment she finally faces Renaud again? The next episode is poised to give us answers, but with 1923 answers usually come at a devastating cost. The leaked trailer doesn't just tease Tionna's fate, it also gives us a glimpse of Spencer Dutton's long-awaited return to Montana. But with the way things are escalating, he might be walking straight into a war he can't win. If the past episodes have shown us anything, it's that 1923 is not a story about triumph. It's a story about survival, and in episode 6, survival will come at a brutal price. The trailer opens with Spencer sitting alone on a train, his face hardened, his eyes distant. He's been through hell, and it's clear that the journey isn't over yet. In the voiceover, we hear Kara's desperate words from the last episode. "Come home, Spencer. We need you." But as the trailer unfolds, it becomes painfully obvious. Montana is not the home Spencer left behind. It's a battlefield now, and his return might be too late to stop the bloodshed. One of the most intense moments in the trailer shows Spencer stepping off the train, his boots hitting the ground with purpose. He's not just coming home, he's coming back with vengeance in his heart. And he has every reason to be furious. The Dutton family has suffered one brutal attack after another, and the men responsible are still roaming free. In 1923, justice is never handed out. It has to be taken, and Spencer is ready to take it. But there's a problem. The Duttons aren't just fighting for land anymore, they're fighting for their very survival. The trailer cuts to Jacob Dutton standing on the porch of the Yellowstone Ranch as Sheriff McDowell warns him, "This war will bury all of you." It's a chilling line, one that suggests things are about to spiral out of control. But Jacob doesn't flinch. His response? It's already begun. And he's right. The war isn't coming, it's already here. The trailer doesn't hold back in showing the chaos unfolding on the ranch. We see Jack Dutton, rifle in hand, his face bloodied as he screams in rage. We see Elizabeth clutching his arm, tears in her eyes. We see Jacob slamming his fist on a table, his expression dark with frustration. And then the most haunting shot yet. Whitfield standing outside the ranch, watching, waiting, smiling. Donald Whitfield is not a man who plays fair. He's rich, he's ruthless, and he's determined to rip the Yellowstone Ranch out from under the Duttons. In previous episodes, we saw how he manipulated the system using money and power to tighten his grip on the land. But in episode 6, it looks like he's done playing games. The trailer teases an all-out assault, riders charging through the fields, gunfire echoing through the valley, the ranch engulfed in chaos. And yet, the Duttons aren't backing down. Spencer's return couldn't come at a more critical time. The Duttons need him, but the question is, will he get there in time? 1923 has made a habit of throwing Spencer into life-threatening situations And it's hard to ignore the possibility that he might not make it home as easily as he thinks. The train he's on, it could derail. He could be ambushed. He could be arrested the second he sets foot in Montana. The trailer even hints at something sinister, an ominous shot of a telegram being burned in a fireplace. Could it be a warning to keep Spencer away? Or worse, could it be a letter he was supposed to receive but never did? And then there's the wildest theory yet. What if Spencer never makes it back at all? Think about it. This is 1923. Tragedy is the heart of this show. The Duttons don't get happy endings, and if there's one character who suffered more than anyone, it's Spencer. He lost his first love. He's lost friends. He's nearly died more times than we can count. And now, just when it seems like he's finally going to make it home, the show might pull the cruelest twist yet. What if he dies before he even gets the chance? It would be devastating. It would be heartbreaking. And it would change everything. Because if Spencer never makes it back, then the Duttons are truly alone. Jacob is old and injured. Jack is too young and reckless. The ranch is vulnerable and Whitfield is circling like a vulture. Without Spencer, who will protect the family, who will carry on the fight? The trailer leaves us with a final haunting image. Spencer staring out the train window. His reflection is distorted, almost ghostly. And then just as the screen fades to black, we hear a single voice whisper, "You should have stayed gone." Who's speaking? Is it Whitfield? Is it Kara warning him of what's to come? Or is it a warning from beyond the grave, a sign that Spencer's fate was sealed long before he ever stepped on that train? One thing is for certain. Episode 6 is going to be a game changer. Let's move on to Section 4. The War for the Yellowstone Ranch. With everything the leaked trailer has revealed, Episode 6 is shaping up to be one of the most intense and game-changing episodes in 1923 so far. But the real question is, what happens next? If the Duttons are walking into an unwinnable war, if Spencer might not make it home if Teonna's fate is hanging by a thread, how does this all end? Let's dive into the biggest theories and predictions for what could unfold in the second half of the season. One of the most pressing mysteries revolves around Spencer's journey back to Montana. The last time we saw him, he was finally boarding a train determined to reunite with his family. But if you've been paying attention to 1923, you know by now that nothing comes easy for Spencer Dutton. His life has been one disaster after another, and there's no reason to believe his trip home will be smooth sailing. In fact, the trailer hints that something terrible might happen before he even sets foot on Dutton land. One key shot in the trailer shows a telegram being burned in a fireplace. This could mean a number of things, but the most obvious theory is that someone is trying to erase Spencer's connection to Montana. If he never gets Kara's letters, if he never learns how desperate the situation has become, then he won't rush back in time to help. And who benefits most from Spencer not returning? Donald Whitfield. If he has the power to manipulate the courts, the banks, and the law, then intercepting a telegram is nothing for a man like him. Could he be working behind the scenes to ensure Spencer never reaches Montana? Or worse, could he have arranged for Spencer to be eliminated before he even gets there? It's not a wild theory. We already know Whitfield plays dirty, and what better way to ensure victory than to take out the strongest Dutton before he even joins the fight? The trailer teases a dark fate for Spencer. One shot shows him in what appears to be a holding cell, his hands chained, his face bruised. Another shows him standing on the edge of a cliff, staring down at crashing waves below. These images raise terrifying questions. Does Spencer get arrested before making it home? Does he end up in a deadly fight along the way? Or, in the most shocking twist of all, does he disappear before he ever reaches Montana? But Spencer's fate isn't the only uncertainty looming over Episode 6. There's also Teonna and her unborn child. If the theory is true and she really is pregnant, then what does that mean for her future? Right now, she's on the run being hunted like an animal by Father Renault and Marshall Kent. She's already been through unimaginable suffering. But if she's carrying a child, then that suffering is about to multiply tenfold. The Rainwater bloodline is essential to the Yellowstone universe, and Teonna's story feels like it's leading towards something much bigger. Could she be the true mother of the modern Rainwater legacy? If so, then the stakes of her survival just skyrocketed. But survival won't be easy. The trailer hints at an intense chase sequence. One shot shows Pete racing on horseback, fear in his eyes, while another shows a bullet grazing the dirt just inches away from his feet. And then there's the moment that has everyone talking. The gunshot. At the very end of the trailer, we hear it. 2 shots fired back to back. And then, silence. This moment has led to one of the most painful theories yet. Pete might not make it out of episode 6 alive. Think about it. Teonna's story has already been compared to Elsa's in 1883, a tragic journey filled with love loss and heartbreak. Elsa fell in love on the road, but she lost her partner before they could truly build a life together. If Teonna is following that same path, then Pete's fate might already be sealed. The trailer gives us another hint. Teonna is seen alone hiding behind rocks, tears streaking her face. If Pete had survived, wouldn't she be with him? Wouldn't they be running together? The heartbreaking possibility is that Pete dies trying to protect her, leaving Teonna to escape on her own, pregnant alone, and with nowhere left to turn. And then, of course, there's the war for the Yellowstone Ranch. The trailer makes one thing clear. The battle lines have been drawn and episode 6 will see blood spilled. But the biggest question remains, who loses? We already saw Jack in a moment of agony clutching a wound. We saw Jacob looking utterly defeated, standing in a field as if he's just witnessed something unthinkable. And then there's Elizabeth, who in one chilling shot is seen running toward the house, her dress covered in blood. Could this be the moment when the Duttons suffer another devastating loss? If the past episodes have taught us anything, it's that 1923 is not afraid to kill major characters. We already lost John Dutton Sr. early in the season. We watched Emma take her own life in despair. And now, as the war reaches its boiling point, someone else is bound to fall. Could it be Jacob finally succumbing to the injuries he sustained in episode 3? Could it be Jack too reckless and impulsive to survive? Could it be Elizabeth struck down just as she begins to hope for a future? Or in the most shocking twist of all, could Cara Dutton, the rock of the family, be the next victim? There's one more chilling possibility to consider. What if the Duttons lose the ranch? We've been so focused on the physical battles, on the guns and bloodshed, that we might be missing the real war, the war of power. Whitfield isn't just trying to defeat the Duttons, he's trying to erase them. If he plays his cards right, if he manipulates the law in just the right way, then he could take the Yellowstone Ranch without firing a single shot. The Duttons have been backed into a corner. They're drowning in debt. They're outnumbered. And Whitfield is patient. He doesn't need to win overnight. He just needs to outlast them. Could episode 6 mark the beginning of the end for the Yellowstone Ranch? One thing is certain. When this episode airs, nothing will be the same. Lives will be lost. Fates will be sealed. And the battle for the Dutton legacy will reach a turning point that could change everything we thought we knew about 1923. What do you think will happen next? Will Spencer make it home in time? Will Teonna survive? Will the Duttons lose everything? Let's discuss in the comments below. And if you want even more 1923 theories, be sure to check out the next video. With everything we've uncovered from the 1923 episode 6 trailer leaks, one thing is abundantly clear. This is the turning point. Every storyline, every character arc, every conflict that has been simmering beneath the surface is about to reach its boiling point. And the most terrifying part, we have no idea who will make it out alive. The Duttons are staring down the barrel of an unwinnable war. Teonna is running for her life, and Spencer is racing against time to reach home before it's too late. But what if he's already too late? What if by the time his train pulls into Montana, there's nothing left to save? This episode could be the moment when everything changes, when the very foundation of the Yellowstone legacy begins to crack, setting the stage for the tragedies that will ripple through generations. For the past few episodes, we've seen Jacob Dutton try to hold on to his power, but the truth is undeniable. He's fighting a losing battle. His old-school gunslinging ways aren't enough anymore. The world is changing, and men like Donald Whitfield don't play by the same rules. The war isn't just being fought in the fields, it's being fought in the courts, in the banks, in the twisted corridors of power where money and influence dictate who wins and who disappears. And the Duttons? They're running out of time. The trailer suggests that the battle is no longer just about revenge, it's about survival. If Jacob can't find a way to secure the ranch soon, there might not be a Yellowstone Ranch left to fight for. The ominous imagery of Elizabeth covered in blood, Jack wounded Cara standing alone with despair in her eyes. These aren't just random moments. They are warnings. The Dutton family tree is about to take another hit, and this time it might not recover. And then there's Spencer, the prodigal son, the one hope for the Duttons to reclaim their strength. But will he even get there? The trailer hints at major obstacles in his path, arrests, attacks, perhaps even a deadly betrayal before he steps foot in Montana. We've seen Spencer survive wild animals' shipwrecks and war, but what if his biggest enemy isn't something he can fight with his fists? What if he's being set up to fail before he ever reaches home? If Whitfield or Banner Creighton have figured out a way to stop him before he arrives, then the Duttons' last hope could be snuffed out before it even has a chance to burn. And if that happens, what's left? Does Kara, now the heart and backbone of the Dutton clan, have it in her to keep fighting without him? Or will the grief of losing so many loved ones finally break her? Meanwhile, Teonna's story has been building toward a devastating moment of reckoning. The trailer all but confirms that the hunters are closing in, and if Pete has fallen, she is well and truly alone. But here's the thing, Teonna isn't just running for her own survival anymore. If the theory is true and she's pregnant, then she's carrying the future of her people with her. The Rainwater bloodline, the very thread that ties 1923 to Yellowstone, rests on her shoulders. If she's caught, if she's killed, then history is rewritten. But if she escapes, if she finds a way to fight back and carve out a future, then the Rainwaters endure. That's why the stakes are so high. The chase we're about to see unfold in episode 6 won't just determine Teonna's fate, it will determine the legacy of an entire lineage. And finally, we have the biggest question of all. Is this the episode where the Duttons finally lose the ranch? We've spent 2 seasons watching them defend their land with blood, sweat, and bullets. But this isn't like the battles of the past. This isn't just a cattle war. This is corporate greed, legal manipulation, and a system designed to crush families like the Duttons under its boot. Whitfield doesn't need to kill Jacob Dutton to win. He just needs to outlast him. And from what we've seen, that may already be happening. The Duttons are bleeding literally and figuratively. The land is drowning in debt, the government is breathing down their necks, and the law is not on their side. This isn't a fight that can be won with guns alone, and that's why it's so terrifying. So, as we head into episode 6, one thing is certain. When this episode is over, 1923 will never be the same. Whether it's the loss of a major character, the downfall of the Yellowstone Ranch, or the shocking confirmation of Teonna's pregnancy, something huge is about to happen. And when it does, it will send shockwaves through the rest of the season, setting up the final battles that will determine who gets to call this land home. The Duttons have always been survivors, but with every passing episode, it's becoming clearer. Survival isn't guaranteed. What do you think will happen next? Will Spencer make it home in time? Will Teonna's child be the key to the future? Will the Duttons lose everything? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you want even more theories, be sure to check out the next video. Things are about to get intense. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe our channel for more updates. Thanks.